Please know that it gives me no great pleasure to report this, but this week the world got an up-close look at Joe Biden, and it appears that he really is coming apart before our eyes. The occasion for this examination was the annual meeting of the UN General Assembly in New York, when the world's leaders gather at that great temple of uselessness that is the United Nations to put on a show to convince the rest of us they know what they're doing. Well, good luck with that. And of course, leading the pack here was our man, Joe Biden. Here he was addressing the leaders of the globe, and I tell you what, I feel pretty bad for some of the folks who are doing simultaneous translations.
Now, even as we evolve our institutions and drive creative new partnerships, let me be clear. Certain principles of our international system are sacrosanct.
Certain principles, your guess is as good as mine. Then there was this little meeting with the president of Brazil, which played out more like a hearing aid commercial you might hear on talkback radio.
And to say to President Biden, can you hear me, President Biden? This is a historical moment for Brazil and for the U.S.
Are you there, President Biden? It's me, Margaret. Biden, of course, forgot to shake the Brazilian president's hand, to his great delight. Not. And then there was this bizarre moment when, meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Joe Biden made the sign of the cross.
I've checked it over 40 years, and our friendship goes a long way and can take us a long way.
I'm sorry, let's just see that again. It's just all too weird. I don't know, Faith and Begorra. Note that it is also in this meeting that Bibi Netanyahu spoke off the cuff. Well, Biden, of course, needed those note cards he always holds on to speak because, well, we know what happens when he goes off script. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris, the woman whose mere existence as vice president makes the Secret Service's job so easy, well, she's just making friends everywhere she goes.
You know, when we think about minority small business owners, and let's be more specific about Latino small business owners, yes, it is restaurants, but it is so much more.
So basically there, if you read between the lines, Kamala Harris thinks that Latinos just own taco stands or something, I guess, which means that when she saw Jill Biden call Mexicans breakfast burritos at one time, she was just thinking, hold my beer. Now, at this point, I gotta wonder, is this whole shambling, stuttering, clumsy Biden routine, I mean, look, it's declined, but maybe it's not. Could it be that there's something else entirely going on? Sometimes I think maybe he's actually putting on an act so people underestimate him or don't realize that he's the mastermind of this whole huge sort of behind-the-scenes operation. I don't know, maybe Joe Biden is playing it up like a cry for help, so the political pressure builds to allow him to gracefully retire rather than be forced to keep doing the job to please Jill or whomever it is. I don't know. But whatever, sometimes, just sometimes, this whole thing reminds me a little bit of the old New York City mobster, Vincent the Chin Gigante, who for years threw off the authorities by putting on a public act suggesting he was, in fact, just himself a harmless, shuffling, mentally ill wanderer, when in fact he was a criminal mastermind in charge of a whole criminal enterprise. Former member of the Lucchese crime family, John Panisi, explained this a bit more here.
Besides taking trips to psychiatric hospitals, Chin was known to wander around Greenwich Village unshaven, wearing pajamas, a bathrobe, and house slippers, muttering gibberish. He talked to telephone poles and parking meters, and urinate at will in the street, and at times randomly drop to his knees and cross himself.
Randomly making the sign of the cross, you say? Yeah, nah. Sure, it's just a coincidence.